Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here today to speak about a topic that I believe has the power to change your life. If you're not where you want to be, whether in your career, your relationships, or your personal growth, there's one thing that is likely holding you back from reaching your full potential. And that one thing is you. Success isn't a matter of luck or timing. It's the result of personal discipline, focus, and the ability to overcome your own limitations. So today, let's take a hard look at the one thing that may be holding you back from greatness and how you can break through it. The most successful people aren't the ones with the most talent or the best opportunities. They are the ones who show up day in and day out, regardless of how they feel. Success requires self-discipline, the ability to do the things you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing them. Too many people are held back by the fear of failure. They're so scared of making mistakes that they never try at all. But let me tell you something, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. You cannot grow without failing, and you cannot succeed without trying. If you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you've arrived? Success begins with clarity. You need to be crystal clear about your goals and your vision. Without a clear target, you're simply wandering around hoping to hit something by chance. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone. It feels safe, familiar, and predictable. But growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. If you want to achieve success, you have to be willing to step out of it, to take risks, and to do what's uncomfortable. Procrastination is a dream killer. It's the little voice in your head that convinces you that you have more time or that you can do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Every time you procrastinate, you're delaying your own success. Your thoughts create your reality. If you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, doubting yourself, or focusing on what's wrong, that's exactly what you'll attract. Positive thinking is not about pretending everything is perfect, but it's about focusing on the possibilities and solutions instead of the problems. Success is built on consistency. It's not about doing something great once, it's about doing small, positive things consistently over time. Whether it's exercising, reading, networking, or improving your skills, consistency is the key to long-term success. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your mindset and your success. If you surround yourself with negative, unmotivated individuals, it's going to be very difficult to stay motivated and on track. Success requires you to be around people who uplift, challenge, and support you. You see, it's not external factors that hold us back. It's our own choices, our own actions, or lack thereof. If you want to break through your limitations and achieve the success you deserve, you must take responsibility for your own progress. Success isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. And once you realize that the only thing truly holding you back is the way you think, the way you act, and the way you show up in your life, you'll find that there's nothing stopping you. Let's talk about self-discipline. If you truly want to succeed in life, self-discipline is the single most important skill you can cultivate. It's not the most exciting thing to talk about, but it's the thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. It's easy to look at successful people and assume they're lucky, or that they have some special talent. But the truth is, it's their discipline that made them successful, not luck. Success is not about waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, or the perfect conditions. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a time when everything is aligned and ready for you to take action. Successful people don't wait for the stars to align, they make things happen. They show up every day, do the work, and stay committed to their goals. Even when they don't feel like it. Especially when they don't feel like it. You see, motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel pumped up and other days you'll feel like quitting. But here's the key, self-discipline doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on what you know you must do to achieve the life you want. When you develop the discipline to keep going, even on days when your energy is low or when distractions seem overwhelming, you will separate yourself from the majority of people who give up when things get tough. Discipline means making the right choices even when it's hard. It means getting up early even when you'd rather sleep in. It means working on your goals every day even when you don't feel like it. It means doing the things you know will move you closer to your success even when the easier path calls your name. The road to success is rarely the easy road. The successful person is the one who chooses to stay the course, no matter how challenging or uncomfortable it gets. And let me tell you, you don't need to be perfect. You don't have to be the most talented or the smartest person in the room. What you need is consistency, the ability to keep going when others would stop. If you commit to being disciplined day after day, your life will begin to change in ways you never thought possible. The key is to start small, take that first step, and then the next, and then the next. It's not about doing everything perfectly all at once. It's about consistently doing the right things over time. It's easy to let distractions take you off course. We live in a world full of distractions, full of temptations that pull us away from our goals. But self-discipline means saying no to those distractions and staying focused on what's important. It means making choices that align with your values, your vision, and your purpose. It's about training your mind to think long-term rather than giving in to short-term pleasures that don't contribute to your success. The good news is self-discipline is a skill that can be developed. It's not something you're born with, but something you can cultivate. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. But you've got to make the decision today to start. You've got to commit to doing what needs to be done, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem at the time. Each small act of discipline compounds over time, and before you know it, you'll have a level of success that most people only dream of. So ask yourself what's holding you back. Are you letting your lack of discipline keep you stuck? The good news is you have the power to change that. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your life transforms. The future you want is waiting for you, but it won't come without a price. That price is discipline. When you pay that price, success will become inevitable. Let's talk about fear. Specifically, the fear of failure. It's something that holds far too many people back from reaching their true potential. You see, we all have dreams, we all have goals, but too often we let the fear of failing stop us from even starting. And that's a tragedy, because failure is a part of success. It's not the opposite of it. In fact, failure is often the best teacher you'll ever have. But here's the thing: most people are afraid of making mistakes, of not getting it right, of looking foolish in front of others. They think that failure means they're not good enough, that they're not worthy of success. But the reality is, you cannot succeed without failing. You can't grow without making mistakes. You can't reach the heights of achievement without stumbling along the way. Failure is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Because it's through failure that you learn, grow, and become stronger. Think about the most successful people you know. They're not the ones who've never failed. Quite the opposite. They're the ones who've failed more times than most people would dare to try. But they don't let those failures define them. They learn from them, and they keep going. They understand that failure isn't permanent. It's simply a stepping stone, a necessary part of the process. And every time they fail, they get a little bit closer to their goal. Every failure brings them more wisdom, more resilience, and more determination. If you're afraid to fail, you're missing out on one of life's most valuable lessons. Failure teaches you to be resilient, to be resourceful, and to be creative. It teaches you to adapt and evolve. The real question is, what's the alternative? Is the fear of failure really worth staying stuck in mediocrity, stuck in a life of what ifs and missed opportunities? I don't think it is. You see, the only way to truly fail is to quit. If you keep going, if you stay persistent and committed to your vision, you will eventually find success. Failure only becomes permanent if you let it stop you, if you let it discourage you, if you let it define who you are. But failure is not who you are. It's simply an event, a lesson, a detour on the road to success. It's not the end, it's part of the journey. But fear has a funny way of taking over our minds. It convinces us that the worst case scenario will happen, that the consequences of failure will be unbearable. It convinces us to play it safe, to stay comfortable, to avoid risks. But let me ask you, what's the real cost of not trying? What's the real cost of not stepping out of your comfort zone, of not risking failure? The cost is a life of regret, a life of what could have been. And that, my friends, is far worse than any failure. Here's the truth: the biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. The biggest failure is never trying. The biggest mistake is letting fear of failure hold you back from living the life you were meant to live. So what are you waiting for? Stop fearing failure and start fearing the regret of never even trying. I'll tell you right now, you are more than capable. You are more than equipped to handle whatever comes your way. And no matter what happens, no matter how many times you fall, you can always get back up. Failure doesn't make you less than you're not a failure when you fail. You're just someone who's learning, growing, and getting better with every step. And that, my friend, is what leads to success. So make the decision today, let go of the fear of failure. Take action, try, fail, learn, and keep going. And remember, the road to success is paved with failures. Embrace them, learn from them, and keep pushing forward, because on the other side of that fear is everything you've ever dreamed of. Let me ask you a question. Do you know exactly where you're going in life? Do you have a clear, specific vision of what you want to achieve? Or are you just drifting from one day to the next, hoping something will fall into place? The truth is, without clarity, you're simply wandering. You're living a life of chance, not choice. You might be working hard, you might be busy. But if you don't have a clear direction, you're like a ship without a rudder at the mercy of the waves, with no real control over where you're headed. Clarity is the foundation of success. You cannot hit a target you can't see. Success is not something that happens by accident. It's the result of focused effort. And that focus only comes from having a clear vision. You must know without a doubt what you want, why you want it, and how you're going to get it. Without clarity, you're simply going through the motions, wasting time and energy on things that don't move you closer to your goals. Think about it. Successful people don't wander through life hoping things will get better. They have a roadmap. They know where they're going, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to get there. They've taken the time to define their purpose, their goals, and their vision for their future. And that clarity gives them the strength and the motivation to keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. But too many people don't have that clarity. They're unclear about what they want and why they want it. They're uncertain about their purpose. They let distractions and uncertainty dictate their actions. And so they end up busy but not productive, working hard but not moving forward. When you lack clarity, you end up wasting your time and energy on things that don't matter, things that won't bring you closer to your goals. You waste time on activities that give you temporary satisfaction but don't lead to lasting success. The first step in getting clarity is to ask yourself, what do I really want? Not what other people want for you, not what's convenient, but what do you truly desire? You have to be honest with yourself. What does your ideal life look like? What would your ideal career look like? What do you want your relationships to look like? Write it down. Be specific. The clearer you are about what you want, the more likely it is that you will get it. A vague desire leads to vague results. Once you have that clarity, you need to remind yourself of it every single day. When you wake up, remind yourself of your vision. When you face challenges, remember your purpose. And when things get tough, keep your eyes on that clear goal you've set. Success is not about making big moves every day. It's about staying focused on the right things and consistently taking small steps toward your vision. You also need to recognize that clarity isn't something that magically appears. It's something you must actively pursue. Spend time each day reflecting on your goals. Spend time thinking about your values. Make time to sit down, get away from the noise, and focus on what truly matters to you. The more you do this, the clearer your vision will become. And the clearer your vision, the more focused and productive you will be. Another crucial part of clarity is learning how to say no. When you're unclear about what you want, it's easy to be pulled in 1,000 different directions. You end up saying yes to everything, even things that don't serve your purpose or your goals. But with clarity, you can filter out distractions. You can be selective with where you spend your time, energy, and resources. You'll find it easier to say no to the things that aren't moving you toward your goals and yes to the things that will help you get there. Having clarity doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It doesn't mean the road will always be easy. But it does mean you'll have the resilience to keep going because you'll always have a clear sense of why you're doing what you're doing. When things get tough, and they will, you'll have your clarity to guide you, to remind you of your purpose and the bigger picture. Without clarity, you'll constantly find yourself wasting time, energy, and resources on the wrong things. You'll be reacting to life instead of directing it. You'll feel overwhelmed, scattered, and frustrated. But when you have clarity, you'll know exactly what to do, exactly what steps to take, and exactly where to focus. You'll be able to say no to distractions and stay focused on what truly matters. So I challenge you to take the time to get clear on what you want. Don't wait for life to hand you a perfect plan. Create your own. Set your goals, define your vision, and commit to pursuing it with everything you've got. Clarity is the difference between simply existing and truly living. It's the difference between working hard and working smart. Get clear, stay focused, and watch your life transform. Let's talk about the comfort zone, the place where most people live most of their lives. And let me tell you, the comfort zone is a trap. It's not a safe haven, it's a cage. It's the place where your dreams go to die. We've all been there, haven't we? We've all had those moments where it feels better to stay where it's familiar, where things are predictable, and where we don't have to take any risks. But here's the problem. Nothing good ever comes from staying in the comfort zone. You see, the comfort zone is where your growth comes to a screeching halt. It's where you stop challenging yourself, where you stop learning, where you stop growing. It's easy to get caught up in the illusion that the comfort zone is where you should stay because, well, it's comfortable. But comfort, my friends, is the enemy of progress. If you want to stay exactly where you are in life, then by all means, stay in your comfort zone. But if you want to grow, If you want to live a life of meaning, if you want to achieve your goals, then you have to break free from it. Think about it for a moment. What's the difference between successful people and those who never quite get there? Successful people don't let comfort dictate their actions. They step outside their comfort zones consistently every single day. They push themselves to do things that are uncomfortable, things that scare them, things they don't feel like doing. They understand that growth only happens when you stretch yourself, when you do things you've never done before, when you face challenges head on instead of avoiding them. But most people choose comfort over growth. They avoid the difficult conversations. They shy away from the risks. They don't push themselves to try new things or take on new challenges because it's easier to stay in what they know. It feels safer. But safe doesn't lead to success. Safe doesn't lead to achievement. Safe doesn't lead to greatness. Let me be clear, growth only happens when you step out of that comfortable bubble you've built around yourself. You don't grow by doing the same things over and over again. You don't improve by staying in situations that require no effort, no risk, and no courage. It's only when you step outside your comfort zone that you begin to see what you're really capable of. That's when you discover strength, creativity, and resilience you never knew you had. The truth is, success demands discomfort. It demands that you push past fear, that you stretch your limits, and that you go after what you want, even when it feels scary or overwhelming. The comfort zone doesn't prepare you for success. It only prepares you for mediocrity. If you're content with just getting by, if you're okay with living a life that's just fine, then stay in your comfort zone. But if you want to make a lasting impact, if you want to create something extraordinary with your life, then you must step outside of it. When you stay in your comfort zone, you make excuses. You tell yourself that there's always tomorrow, that you'll get to it eventually. You tell yourself you're too busy, too tired, too overwhelmed, too inexperienced. But the longer you stay in your comfort zone, the more those excuses pile up. And before you know it, years have passed and you've accomplished little because you've been avoiding discomfort. It's in the discomfort that you find your true potential. It's in the moments when you're unsure, when you're scared, when you feel vulnerable, that's when you grow. That's when you discover just how much you're capable of. But to experience that growth, you must first make the decision to break free. And I'm not talking about taking giant, reckless leaps. You don't have to jump off a cliff to break free from your comfort zone. It's the small, consistent actions that count. It's about making one phone call you've been avoiding. It's about learning a new skill. It's about taking that first step, no matter how small, in a direction that scares you. Every time you push past the limits you've set for yourself, you expand your comfort zone. You get stronger. You get bolder. And you build the confidence you need to take on bigger challenges in the future. The real key to breaking free from the comfort zone is understanding that growth requires discomfort. It's not going to feel easy. It's not going to feel good. But that's okay, because success isn't about comfort. It's about discipline, resilience, and determination. You have to be willing to step into the unknown, to face uncertainty, and to do what you've never done before. And when you do, you'll begin to see progress in ways you never thought possible. Remember, success doesn't come to those who stay comfortable. It comes to those who are willing to push themselves beyond what they thought was possible. It comes to those who understand that the discomfort they feel is a sign of progress, not failure. So the next time you find yourself tempted to stay in your comfort zone, ask yourself, what's the cost? What's the cost of staying exactly where I am? Of avoiding change, of avoiding growth? The cost is your potential. The cost is the life you could have lived, the person you could have become, the things you could have achieved. The cost is success itself. So don't let comfort hold you back. Step outside, embrace the discomfort, and watch your life begin to transform. You were not put on this earth to live a small, comfortable life. You were made for greatness. But greatness requires risk. It requires stepping into the unknown. It requires stepping outside your comfort zone. And when you do, you'll discover a world of possibilities waiting for you. The only thing holding you back is your decision to stay where it's comfortable. Make the decision today to step out, to grow, and to live the life you were meant to live. Let's talk about procrastination. It's the silent killer of success, the sneaky thief that steals your time, your potential, and your future. Every single one of us has procrastinated at some point in our lives, putting off something we know we should be doing, delaying that crucial task or decision that could move us forward. But here's the thing, procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's a choice. And if you're not careful, it will become a pattern that keeps you stuck in the same place year after year. Procrastination doesn't just happen by accident. It's a decision you make in the moment, often driven by fear, doubt, or the desire to stay comfortable. You look at that task, that goal, and think, I'll do it later. It's not urgent. I'll have more time tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and guess what? You tell yourself the same thing again. Before you know it, weeks, months, or even years have passed, and you're still standing in the same spot, waiting for the right moment to act. But here's the hard truth. There is no perfect moment. There's no ideal time when the stars will align and everything will fall into place. The perfect time is now. If you're waiting for conditions to be just right, you'll be waiting forever. Successful people don't wait. They don't waste time wondering if it's the right time to get started. They understand that the best time to take action is always today. Procrastination is a way of hiding from the discomfort of doing what needs to be done. It's easier to put off the hard tasks, the uncomfortable tasks, the ones that stretch you, than to face them head on. But here's the catch: the longer you put something off, the harder it becomes to do it. The fear, the doubt, the guilt, all of it grows over time, making the task seem more overwhelming than it really is. The longer you delay, the bigger the task looms in your mind, and the more you convince yourself that you can't handle it. But you can handle it. The only way to overcome procrastination is to take that first step, no matter how small, and just get started. Action cures fear. When you take that initial step, the task doesn't seem so intimidating anymore. You begin to see that what you feared was much worse than the reality. The key is to break things down into smaller, manageable steps so that you're not overwhelmed. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do something. Anything. Procrastination also robs you of opportunities. It's the great opportunity thief. Every time you put something off, you push your success further away. You delay your progress, you delay your dreams. You may think it's just one more day or it's not a big deal. But when you add up all those just one more days, they turn into months, years, and lost opportunities. The difference between successful people and those who are constantly stuck is that the successful ones act now. They don't wait until they feel ready. They act before they're ready. They move before they have all the answers. They make progress, not excuses. Another key thing about procrastination is that it's often fueled by a lack of clarity. When you're unclear about your goals or unsure about the next steps, it's easy to procrastinate. You don't know exactly what to do, so you end up doing nothing. But when you have a clear vision and a concrete plan, procrastination has no room to grow. You know what needs to be done, and you take immediate action. If you're struggling with procrastination, here's the challenge: stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the perfect feelings, and stop waiting for someone else to push you. Success comes when you decide to take control of your time, to take control of your actions. Every single day is a new opportunity to make progress toward your goals. Don't let procrastination rob you of that opportunity. The way to defeat procrastination is to replace it with action. It's not about waiting until you feel like it or until you're ready. It's about making a decision to take action, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's uncomfortable. The more you take action, the less power procrastination has over you. And the more you act, the more momentum you build. Remember, success is built by doing the things that most people won't do. Most people procrastinate, most people wait, most people make excuses. But not you. You're going to be different. You're going to be someone who gets things done. You're going to make progress every single day, no matter how small, because every step you take brings you closer to your dreams. So next time you find yourself procrastinating, ask yourself, what am I waiting for? What's the cost of waiting another day? The truth is, time is the one resource you can never get back. Every moment you waste is gone forever. So stop putting things off. Take action today. Take that first step and start building the life you want. Procrastination may feel comfortable in the moment, but it's a prison that holds you back from achieving everything you're capable of. The way out is simple: take action, break the habit of waiting, and do something now. That's how you start making real progress toward your goals. And with every step, you'll find that success is no longer a distant dream. It's a reality you're creating every day. Let's talk about negative thinking, because this is something that affects everyone, whether you realize it or not. We all have those moments when doubt creeps in, when we feel discouraged, when we question whether we're good enough or whether we'll ever succeed. But here's the thing: negative thinking is not just a bad habit, it's a destructive force. It's the silent enemy that keeps you from moving forward, from reaching your potential, and from living the life you truly want. Now, you might think it's just the way I am, or it's just a little negativity, I'll get over it, but what most people fail to realize is how dangerous negative thinking can be. It's a habit that, if left unchecked, starts to shape your reality. If you constantly focus on the things that could go wrong, on the reasons why you can't do something, or on the obstacles in your way, then guess what? That's exactly what you'll attract. Negative thoughts are like a magnet. They attract more negativity, more doubt, more failure. If you want to get more of what you focus on, then keep thinking about what you don't want. But if you want to change your life, then you must change the way you think. Your thoughts create your reality. Let me say that again. Your thoughts create your reality. If you wake up every morning telling yourself that today is going to be a bad day, that you're not good enough, that the world is against you, then that's the world you'll see. You'll find evidence everywhere to confirm those beliefs. The universe will respond to your thoughts and attitudes, but it will give you exactly what you expect. But if you wake up with a positive, confident attitude, telling yourself that today is full of possibilities, that you are capable of achieving your goals, and that you have everything you need to succeed, you'll start to see opportunities, solutions, and new paths forward. Negative thinking in its simplest form is a lie. It's not the truth. It's the story you tell yourself based on fear, doubt, and past experiences. But fear doesn't control your destiny. Your past doesn't control your future. The only thing that has the power to shape your future is what you choose to believe today. If you constantly dwell on what could go wrong, you're giving power to your fears. If you dwell on past failures, you're allowing them to dictate your present actions. And when you do that, you stop taking risks, you stop trying new things, and you limit your potential. The real key to overcoming negative thinking is awareness. You need to recognize when negative thoughts are creeping in. Every time you think, I can't, or it's too hard, or it won't work, stop and ask yourself, is this true? Is this helping me? Is this the story I want to believe? And the answer is, of course, no. Negative thoughts aren't helping you, they're holding you back. And the more you entertain them, the more they take root in your mind. They become the lens through which you see the world, and suddenly your world becomes smaller, your goals become further away, and your actions become limited. The antidote to negative thinking is positive action. You don't overcome negativity by just thinking more positive thoughts. You overcome negativity by taking positive, consistent actions. Action breaks the cycle of negative thinking. It's easy to sit around and worry about what could go wrong, but it's far more powerful to take one small step in the direction of your goals. Every step forward, no matter how small, weakens the hold of negative thoughts. Every bit of progress you make shows you that you are capable, that you can succeed, and that you are moving closer to the life you want. But don't expect this to happen overnight. Changing your mindset is a process. It takes time, patience, and persistence. You'll have to consciously replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. You'll have to stop yourself every time you catch yourself thinking, this is too hard, or I'll never be able to do this. Instead, ask yourself, how can I make this work, and what's the next step I can take? Even if it's just a small step, it's progress, and progress builds confidence. Over time, you'll notice that your thinking becomes more positive, more productive, and more solution-focused. Here's another powerful truth: negativity thrives in isolation. When you're feeling down, when you're doubting yourself, the worst thing you can do is keep it to yourself. You need to surround yourself with positive influences. You need to be around people who believe in you, who encourage you, who see your potential when you can't see it for yourself. If you spend all your time with negative people, with people who complain and blame and make excuses, that negativity will start to rub off on you. You become the sum of the people you spend the most time with. So if you want to break free from negative thinking, you need to make sure you're surrounding yourself with positive, supportive individuals who lift you up and inspire you to be better. But let me tell you something important. Negativity doesn't just show up in your thoughts, it shows up in your actions. If you procrastinate, if you avoid making decisions, if you avoid taking action because you're afraid of failing or making mistakes, that's a form of negative thinking. When you're afraid to act because you're afraid of what could go wrong, you're letting negativity rule your life. And the only way to break free from that is to take action. Do the thing you're avoiding, face the challenge you're running from, and watch how the fear and negativity fade away. The best way to overcome negative thinking is to take action toward your goals, no matter how small. Negative thinking keeps you stuck. It keeps you from reaching your potential. It keeps you from going after your dreams. But positive thinking, positive action, and a positive environment can break the cycle. Your mind is your most powerful tool, and if you fill it with empowering thoughts, you will see the world in a completely different way. The key is to choose your thoughts carefully. Choose thoughts that move you forward, not backward. Choose thoughts that inspire you, not discourage you. Choose thoughts that lift you up, not hold you down. And when you do, you'll see your life transform. The power is in your hands. You have the ability to control your thoughts. And through those thoughts, you can change your life. The only question is, what will you choose to think today? Will you choose negativity, or will you choose to see the possibilities? Will you choose fear, or will you choose action? The choice is yours, and it makes all the difference. Let's talk about consistency. Now, we all know that success doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come from a single burst of energy or one grand gesture. Success comes from doing the right things day in and day out. It comes from making small, deliberate choices consistently over time. And yet, this is where many people falter. They start with great intentions, full of enthusiasm, but they lack the consistency to follow through. And that lack of consistency is what holds them back from reaching their full potential. You've probably experienced this yourself. You set a goal, you get excited, and you dive in head first. But after a few days, or maybe even a few weeks, your enthusiasm starts to fade. Life gets in the way, distractions take over, and that initial motivation starts to wear off. So you put things off, you miss a day, and before you know it, you're off track. You tell yourself, I'll get back to it tomorrow, but tomorrow never seems to come. That's the danger of inconsistency. It's a subtle, quiet force that can derail your progress without you even realizing it. Here's the thing, success isn't about making big, dramatic changes. It's about showing up consistently day after day and doing the work. It's about doing the small things that lead to big results, even when you don't feel like it. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't is this simple truth: successful people keep going. They keep putting in the effort, even when it gets hard, even when they don't see immediate results. They understand that greatness doesn't come from doing something once or twice, it comes from doing something consistently over the long term. Think about any successful person you admire. They didn't get to where they are by having one lucky break or one great day of effort. They got there by showing up day after day and doing what needed to be done. Whether it was building a business, writing a book, getting fit, or learning a new skill, what they all have in common is that they were consistent. They didn't give up after the first setback. They didn't stop when the novelty wore off. They kept going even when things got tough, even when progress seemed slow, because they understood that success is the result of consistent effort, not sporadic bursts of activity. The challenge for most people is that they get discouraged when they don't see immediate results. They expect things to happen quickly. They want the reward without the effort, the result without the work. But let me tell you, this success is built over time. It's built by doing the right things, even when you don't feel like it, even when you can't see the progress. And here's the kicker: the progress is happening even when you can't see it. Every little bit of effort you put in, every small step you take is building towards something bigger, something greater. You just need to be patient and trust the process. The problem with inconsistency is that it robs you of the momentum you need to succeed. When you show up every day, when you make the right decisions consistently, you build momentum. Momentum is the key to making things easier over time. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but as it picks up speed, it becomes unstoppable. Consistency is the force that gives you that momentum. It's the force that keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't see immediate results. And with momentum on your side, nothing can stop you. But when you're inconsistent, that momentum never builds. You make progress, then you take 2 steps back. You get excited, then you lose steam. You start a new habit, then you let it go. And over time, that lack of consistency creates a cycle of frustration and discouragement. You're always starting over, always trying to catch up, always wondering why you're not getting where you want to go. But the answer is simple: you're not showing up consistently. The good news is, consistency is a skill that can be developed. It's not something you're born with. It's something you create by making small, consistent choices every day. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the best. But you do have to be consistent. You have to show up, even when it's hard. You have to keep going, even when it feels like progress is slow. And over time, those small, consistent actions will add up to big results. If you want to develop consistency, start small. Pick one thing you can commit to doing every day. Maybe it's working on your business for just 30 minutes a day. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book every day. Maybe it's getting up an hour earlier to work on your goals. Whatever it is, make it a daily habit and stick with it. Don't try to do everything at once. Just focus on that one thing. As you start to build consistency in that area, you'll find that it becomes easier. You'll gain confidence. You'll build momentum. And soon you'll be able to apply that same consistency to other areas of your life. Remember this: success isn't a matter of doing 100 things right. It's about doing the right things consistently. It's about showing up every day, making the right decisions, and taking the right actions even when it's difficult. It's about doing the work when no one is watching, when it's hard, when it doesn't seem like you're getting anywhere. But over time, that consistent effort will pay off. You'll look back and realize that the small daily actions you took added up to something extraordinary. So if you want to create lasting success, stop waiting for motivation to strike. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Start showing up every single day and doing the work. And remember, success is built one small, consistent step at a time. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. The people you surround yourself with have an enormous impact on the kind of life you'll live. You can have all the potential in the world, all the skills, all the talent, and all the ambition, but if you surround yourself with the wrong people, your chances of success are dramatically reduced. You see, people are like mirrors. They reflect back to you who you are. If you spend your time with negative, cynical, unmotivated people, don't be surprised when you start thinking and acting the same way. If you're surrounded by people who are always complaining, making excuses, and blaming others, you'll find yourself adopting the same mindset. And what happens when you think negatively, complain, and make excuses? You start attracting the same kinds of results: mediocre, disappointing, and far from the life you want. Now, this doesn't mean you should cut everyone off, but it does mean that you have to be intentional about the people you allow into your life. Ask yourself this: do the people around me inspire me? Do they challenge me to be better? Do they push me to grow, to become a better version of myself? Or do they drag me down, hold me back, and make me feel small? It's easy to get comfortable with people who are just like you, people who share your current circumstances. But let me tell you, comfort is the enemy of growth. Growth requires you to step outside your comfort zone, and sometimes that means stepping away from people who are not growing with you. There's a saying that goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and that's not just some feel-good quote, it's the truth. The people you associate with will shape your thoughts, your habits, your beliefs, and ultimately your destiny. If you hang around with people who are constantly gossiping, procrastinating, and wasting time, you'll find yourself doing the same. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who are driven, disciplined, and focused on achieving great things, you'll start to adopt those same qualities. Let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with caring about people or wanting to help them. But you must recognize that the most important thing you can do for yourself and your future is to be very selective about the influences you allow into your life. This doesn't mean you have to cut ties with everyone who's not where you want to be sometimes. It's about setting boundaries and not allowing others to pull you down. It's about choosing to spend more time with people who are going to lift you up and challenge you, not hold you back and discourage you. Think about it for a second. How do the people in your life make you feel? Do they make you feel energized and excited about your goals? Do they support your dreams and ambitions? Or do they make you feel small, insignificant, or like your goals are impossible? If you feel constantly drained or discouraged by the people around you, it's time to make some changes. You have to choose to protect your energy. Your time is too valuable, and your dreams are too important to waste them on people who don't see your potential or don't want to see you succeed. But here's where it gets interesting. The most successful people know this secret. They don't just surround themselves with anyone. They make a conscious effort to be around people who think big, act big, and dream big. They choose to spend time with people who challenge them to do more, be more, and achieve more. These are the kinds of people who will inspire you to think bigger, to push harder, and to break through your own limitations. And the more you spend time with them, the more you'll start to believe in yourself and your ability to achieve things you once thought were impossible. Now, I'm not saying you should only surround yourself with people who are already successful or who are exactly where you want to be. It's not about comparing yourself to others or trying to one-up your peers. It's about being around people who are committed to growing, committed to becoming better versions of themselves. People who have the kind of mindset you want to adopt. People who will encourage you to keep going when things get tough. Who will hold you accountable when you start slacking off. And who will remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. And let me also say this, just because someone is your family or just because someone has been in your life for a long time doesn't mean they're the right person to be around. Family can be supportive, but they can also hold you back. Friends can be fun, but they can also distract you from your goals. Just because someone is close to you doesn't mean they're the right influence on your life. You must make the hard decisions to distance yourself from people who undermine your potential, even if they're well-meaning. The truth is, when you start surrounding yourself with the right people, something magical happens. You begin to raise your standards. You begin to see a bigger vision for yourself. You start to believe that what you want is possible because you're surrounded by people who are proving that it is possible. When you make a conscious effort to spend time with people who push you to think bigger and act better, you begin to operate at a higher level yourself. So, I want you to ask yourself, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? And what kind of energy do they bring into my life? Do they lift me up or do they drag me down? Do they inspire me or do they hold me back? The people around you are either helping you get closer to your goals or keeping you stuck where you are. There's no in between. If you want to create a better life, if you want to reach your potential and achieve your dreams, you must be willing to change the company you keep. Surround yourself with people who see the best in you, who want to see you succeed, who challenge you to become the best version of yourself. And as you do, you'll start to see your own life transform in ways you never thought possible. Your dreams will no longer seem like distant wishes, they will become your reality. Because when you surround yourself with the right people, you begin to rise to their level. And that's the kind of environment where success is inevitable.